The Duxford Battle of Britain Airshow is one of those events that every aviation enthusiast needs to experience at least once in their lifetime. This year's offering, despite enduring some challenging weather, was one of the most compelling warbird-themed airshows seen in recent years. The flying display was packed with types rarely seen in UK skies, such as the A-26 Invader, CA-13 Boomerang and F-86 Sabre. But the show will be most remembered for its truly historic gathering of Spitfires and Hurricanes. Here's a look at what's coming up. Plains TV was at Duxford not just for the 2 airshow days, but also on the Friday beforehand, when several practice displays of note took place. Our coverage extends across all 3 days, taking the form of a 1¼ hour programme available on our streaming service. In this shortened version, we show you a few choice highlights. We start on the Friday, which saw the best weather of the 3 days. Frederick Ackery performed a practice display in his CL-13B Sabre Mark VI, and because this wasn't an official airshow, he was permitted to fly a fully aerobatic routine. Although the Sabre did fly during the public weekend, the aerobatic elements of this routine were not repeated, as aerobatics in civilian-operated swept-wing jets are not currently permitted at UK airshows. Another display not repeated on the weekend was this pairing of Lysander and Blenheim. The Lysander wasn't able to fly on Saturday and Sunday, leaving the Blenheim to fly a solo display for the public. The highlight of Friday was a 10-ship formation and tailchase practice orchestrated by the Aircraft Restoration Company. This has become a traditional feature of Fridays preceding the Battle of Britain Airshow. Although it's not a rehearsal for any specific performance or event, it's just an opportunity for pilots to practice a generic mass participation tailchase. The airshow proper dawned bright and sunny on both days, but clouded over as the air display got underway. One of the main features of the show was a mass formation of Hawker Hurricanes on the Saturday, with no fewer than 8 examples taking to the air. This was a record in the preservation era, the biggest formation of Hurricanes seen anywhere in the world since their days of military operation in the early 1950s. Among them, a very special visitor. Hurricane Mk.I P3351 emerged from restoration last year under the ownership of Letecké Museum Tochna in the Czech Republic, but it returned to Britain to take part in this formation. One of the rarest participants in the show was Mk.I-Cybern's CA-13 Boomerang replica, representing the first Australian-designed fighter aircraft. This was only the second time a Boomerang has visited the UK mainland, and the type's first appearance at Duxford. This Avro Anson Mark I, over from the Czech Republic and making its British debut, was the star of Sunday's flying display. It's the only airworthy Anson Mark I in the world, restored meticulously to wartime specifications in New Zealand, and it arrived at its new home with RAF Station Czechoslovakia earlier in 2025. Another very rare participant indeed, A-26C Invader Sweet Eloise 2. This aircraft was based in the USA until recently, but is now owned by the Polish aviation entrepreneur Marcin Kubrak, and it relocated to Europe in the summer. Shortly after its arrival, the A-26 conducted a short UK tour. On Saturday, the A-26 joined up with Fighter Aviation Engineering's P-47 and Fury for a formation pass. These were among the more familiar aircraft of the 1930s and 40s which participated in the flying display, with most flying solo routines and mixed-type formations. The fighter collection flew 2 Curtiss Hawks in the form of the Hawk 75A1 and P-40F Warhawk. Naval aviation was represented by the Catalina and Swordfish, and the jet age by the Norwegian Air Force Historical Squadron's Vampire FB6. Duxford favourite B-17G Flying Fortress Sally B took part in the flying display as per usual. And we also saw 3 beautiful examples of the Mustang. Formation passes were conducted by CA-18 Mustang Mark 23 Jersey Jerk and Cavalier F-51D Miss Rebel. Meanwhile, Dan Griffiths flew an aggressive solo routine in P-51D Moonbeam McSwine. Towards the end of the show, the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight's Lancaster B-1 put in an appearance. But even this magnificent machine struggled to retain the crowd's attention because underneath, Spitfires and Hurricanes began roaring into life for the show's grand finale. This year, as ever, the Battle of Britain Airshow ended with the Big Wing, a huge formation of Spitfires and Hurricanes. As the formation gathered, the crowd was entertained by the Joker, this year a Hispano HA-1112 Bouchon. And then the Big Wing arrived. Consisting on the Saturday of 15 Spitfires and 7 Hurricanes for a grand total of 22 aircraft, it was the biggest Big Wing ever staged at a Duxford airshow. This rounded out what had surely been one of the most compelling warbird airshow lineups seen in recent years, a fitting tribute to the 85th anniversary of the Battle of Britain. You can see much more of this display, and indeed all the others that featured in Duxford's Battle of Britain Airshow 2025 as part of our feature-length highlights programme on the Plains TV streaming service.